Hey, what's up everybody? Once again, it's Brandman Sean on a Saturday morning, and there's something I want to talk about that I really believe is extremely practical to your approach when it comes to marketing, and that's understanding that marketing is a constant process of experimentation and adjusting, and you have to have tough skin to be able to separate yourself from the results. And what I mean by this is, I can start here with going back to the fact that when I was in college, I was over the entrepreneurship club. I took it from being just me and growing it out to be, I don't know, it was a lot of people, and we had some serious big events, some historic events at Georgia State actually. But one of my biggest failures I remember was I was able to finesse and get Jermaine Dupri and this tech guy, I don't know, prodigy or whatever, named Corey Levy. He was well known in Silicon Valley, to come, and they did an interview at the school. I interviewed them on stage, yada yada yada. But preceding that, we used that as a launch point for something called Entrepreneurship Week. So on Entrepreneurship Week, we had 5 events, one each day, major events. There were many failures even within that, but I'm not even gonna go into that. But the biggest one is, I think it was on a Wednesday, and I had an event where I had 3 CEOs come. I was able to get these 3 CEOs from, I'm talking about legitimate, like, $1 million CEOs, not just one of them people who just put CEO on their Instagram. They came for this event, middle of the day, and only 4 people showed up. 3 of those people were actually helping put the event on, bruh. When I tell you that junk hurt, dog. And one of the things I learned, it was just because, for one of the biggest things was the team we had very few resources at that time. I did this launch, like, I went big right out the gate. I mean, and we put so much energy behind the Jermaine Dupri event. We put so much energy behind some of these other events going on that week. That fell through the cracks, and I didn't put enough promo behind it. So that was really a lesson for me on really putting that right energy behind the event. Because when I tell you, when I'm looking at these dudes, man, and I know that they're doing very well off themselves, and they could potentially help me in my life, that wasn't a good look, because I didn't deliver, and I'm over the organization. So, but one thing that I adjusted from that, by the way, is the actual meeting ended up being so fruitful as far as information. They were actually gracious enough to stay and talk for like 30 to 40 minutes, and we all sat at the same table, like a round table. That gave me an idea to do actual intimate dinners with CEOs, right? So they actually don't expect 100, 200, 300 people to be there. They actually know it's only going to be a few students, and they could get valuable, specific information. Like, so you can use a lot of the events that you do, or a lot of the lessons you learn, or your failures, to become something successful. But the point is, that was a huge failure for me. And anybody who's done promotion, the club promoters, party promoters, we've all done that. Just events for your artists, all that stuff. Failure is a part of it. Like, but this industry, you don't see a lot of them. And I'm not going to talk about mine specifically with certain artists, just because people have to uphold these brands. And so it's not my story to tell. Hey, when, you know, they're behind the music comes out, you'll see some of them, you know what I mean? But like, the reason you don't see a lot of these is because we have to uphold these brands. So we have to look like we're winning in this industry. So a lot of people don't talk about them. But I want you guys to understand that it's a constant process, and you have to learn and you adjust. When it comes to marketing specifically, this isn't like some inspirational like BS. When it comes to marketing can't be done completely perfectly beforehand. Like, you can make your call in the huddle, but the winning comes from the audibles you call once you're at the line and about to hike the ball. You got to realize that when it comes to marketing. And let me see if I can think of another failure. Another lesson in failure alone was me realizing that when you have a free event, right, most of those people aren't necessarily going to show up. Like, the first time I did that, I was shocked when I had like 300 RSVPs and maybe only like 70 people showed up or something like that. So I realized now I'm going to do a free event, and it's associated with somebody or someone that doesn't have the clout yet, then I need to make sure that I market to get 1,000 RSVPs, not necessarily 300 RSVPs, depending on what turnout I want, right? So marketing's always you learning just these small little things along the way. That is the process. You have to be able to separate yourself from the results and just know that I'm constantly going to adjust to maximize on my campaign. Because anybody who's throwing a party, right, y'all probably know there are certain things that didn't necessarily go how you want it to go, but everybody on the front end might be like, yo man, that was the best party of all time. That's the process. Even within the wins in this marketing mess, there are a lot of failures. So I want you guys to remember that and know, that's why I always say encourage y'all to get started with small campaigns and just start putting things out now, because you're going to learn some stuff that by the time you say I'm gonna go big, go hard, you'll have so much of those things learned that you can kind of get rid of some of them early small mistakes that you don't necessarily have to make on the front end. But that's yeah, I can't go deep into some stories for specific artists, but while I'm thinking about it, it's popping up though. I have some very specific good information that I tell in my email newsletter, but I noticed that I really haven't talked about my email newsletter because I don't know, I just popped it up on the side. I'm going to talk about it and mention it more, just because for like maybe a week or two, because I need people to actually follow. I have some information like tomorrow. I'm going to send out an email. I send it only out like bi-weekly on Sunday mornings. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about some data and using YouTube for your tours. And like I write this stuff because I can't put everything in some of these videos, and I don't have time to do all this stuff in videos. So I do short emails every 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. Y'all follow the email. I'll put the link in the description. It's pretty much in the description for all my videos. But anyway, back to marketing. Like, bruh, it is a constant process and adjusting. And that's not just for the failures. It's for the wins as well. I'm going to do a video next week for sure related to 21 Savage, because now that I'm thinking about it, he's the perfect example. But like even some things that are working, you have to keep watching your process. Once you start your campaign, remember, I'm saying you're winning when it comes to the audibles. Once you're at the line, once the ball is hiked, not necessarily whatever you thought you were masterminding back in your room while you're alone. Once it starts, that's when the game is on. That's when you can maximize. You need to watch for what's not working. Stop putting energy behind that as quickly as possible. Watch for what's working. Put energy behind that as much as possible. I actually had an artist conversation this morning with a guy, and that made me think about saying that I'm going to do some videos that make that more specific and clear, because I know some of you guys are going to be like, what does that mean? But just know it's coming. Dang, this video is long, but it is what it is. Y'all have a great day, great Saturday. I'm out.